Islam Makhachev is the future, no doubt about it. But first and foremost, he's got to fight Alexander Volkanovski. I mean, that's just what's got to happen. And the big news now that we have confirmation of is that Khabib will not corner Islam Makhachev at UFC 284. Now, we knew this was coming, right? Khabib retiring. How quickly would he retire? Would he finish out the camp with Islam? Well, it seems no, he won't. And how much this has an effect on the fight, nobody really knows until fight time, right? I mean, if he goes in there and wallops Volkanovski, fine. But if he gets stuck going into deep waters and Khabib's not there to coach him through, that could be a problem. Now, you got one of the best coaches in MMA and Mendez in his corner, right? So he won't lose much, but at the same time, one of the best grapplers in the world will not be in your corner, and he's been in your corner all the way up until now. And, you're dealing with a guy in Volkanovski with good takedown defense, high activity in terms of significant strikes. He's a featherweight moving up. He's really short, low to the ground. It's going to be harder to get takedowns. And if he runs through Volkanovski, I mean, he should. But then you don't see him losing for a long time. I mean, make no mistake about it. If he runs through Volkanovski, he won't lose for a long time. So you see the activity for Alexander, right? 6.8 significant strikes per minute compared to 2.4 roughly for Islam. But takedown average, nearly double for Islam Makhachev, and he's landing well over one. This is over three, an average of a 3-round fight. So Islam Makhachev at 3.4 takedown average. That's more than one per round when you factor in the 3 rounds. So that's pretty darn good. Volkanovski, about half that. He gets one like every 2 rounds, maybe a little bit more than that. But, he usually has good takedown defense and can stand and strike. And he can strike with the best of them. I mean, you've seen what he done to Max Holloway 3 fights in a row. Just dominated him in significant strikes. And Holloway usually dominates everybody in significant strikes. So, you have that at play. And with Khabib not in the corner, how much will this have an effect on the fight? I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Make no mistake about it. So UFC 284 just around the corner now, right? We're looking at about 2.5 weeks before this thing goes down, February 4th. So the card is not as great as some other pay-per-view cards, but when you got Islam Makhachev at the top, make no mistake, that's going to carry the card. And as we roll on and we get closer to UFC 284, we got to get into some of the fight predictions, especially lower down in the prelims, things of that nature. We'll get into a main card fight here and there in terms of predictions, but we'll jump all around because, fight week, we're going to go from fight 5 down to 1, just like normal as we work our way through the week and get ready for UFC 284. Right, pay-per-view on a Saturday night. But today, let's get into some early predictions. Check this out. This is Josh Kulabayo. In the featherweight division at UFC 284, you got Josh Kulabayo coming in at 10-1, taking on Melsik Bagdasaryan. Comes in at 7-1. So 2 quality fighters here. Kulabayo, 1 inch taller at 5'10". He's got a 3-inch reach advantage. He fights right-handed, but Melsik fights southpaw or left-handed. And he doubles up Kulabayo in significant strikes per minute, 6 versus 3. Takedown average not there for either fighter. So don't worry about takedowns in this one, at least. That's the way it appears on paper, right? Kulabayo also 82% takedown defense. That even limits the takedowns further. He's won 2 in a row against Sungwoo Choi and Shayalan Nuerdambek. I know I was going to mess that up. Both of those wins by decision. So that's where Kulabayo's at. Before that, he lost to Charles Jourdain. Good fighter. Jalen Turner, really good fighter. Guy who's on a 5-fight win streak right now. Now, Melsik, 76% takedown defense. That's why I tell you, don't worry about the takedowns in this one. He's on a 3-fight win streak, beating Bruno Silva, decision. Colin Anglin, KO. And Dennis Bezucha, decision. So he's looked good so far. And you really wonder where that one loss came from him. And as I flip back to Kulabayo, he actually had a draw against Jourdain. Didn't even lose that one. That's why he's 10-1. So he lost against Jalen Turner only. Man. Wow. this is a tough prediction. It really is. You know, they both got decent quality opponents. They both have similar numbers, but Bagdasarian is just landing more significant strikes. And if it's going to stay on the feet, I think Bagdasarian's got to win this fight. Koulibaly is really good and can match up with almost anybody, but Bagdasarian got my prediction simply off the significant strikes per minute and the takedown defense. You can't compete with those two things. He wins, likely by decision, in a really, really good fight here to move to 8-1, featherweight division, UFC 284. Yeah, so I mean, that one's going to be tough, just like every fight on this card is tough. You know, 283, just this past weekend, it seemed like every fight was 50-50. And we managed to go 10-5 on a 15-fight card after going 8-3 the previous week. So you know, we're rolling 2-0 in the main event. Things are looking good. Check us out, hashtag Crisscross Picks, right, for all your fight picks up to date. You know, we try to stay ahead of these predictions for sure, but that's going to be a tough fight between Koulibaly and Bagdasarian, two guys who can easily win. You saw me struggling through the prediction, and that's because I make it live on the spot. I kind of look over things a little bit. I want to get the numbers in my head, the takedown defense, a couple of opponents, but I really don't know who I'm picking until I read it. Not read it, but just go over the stats and everything out loud. It's strictly from the heart, and it seems to be working for us doing it that way. Now in fight 3, at least right now, you got a big one, and this one features Jack Della Maddalena. In the welterweight division at UFC 284, you got Jack Della Maddalena, who comes in at 13-2, taking on Randy Brown, who comes in at 16-4. Now, Randy Brown, a little bit more of a veteran than Maddalena, but Maddalena has stormed into the UFC with 4 straight wins, starting out with a decision and then 3 KOs in a row. But Randy Brown's 4 inches taller at 6'3". He's got about a 5-inch reach advantage, 78-73. He fights right-handed. Maddalena is a switch stance fighter. Now, Maddalena has been impressive with activity, landing over 8 significant strikes per minute, compared to Randy Brown, about 4.4 per minute. Now, I do believe Maddalena's numbers will come way down. He's probably more in the 6s, but still, a lot of activity, more activity than Randy Brown's going to put out. Neither fighter really shoots for a lot of takedowns, and both guys sitting right at 71% takedown defense. Now, Maddalena came in and beat Angelusa by decision, then had 3 KOs against the likes of Pete Rodriguez, Ramazan Ameev, and Danny Roberts. Now, Randy Brown, a.k.a. Rude Boy, has won 4 in a row as well. I mean, he beat Alex Cowboy Oliveira, beat Jared Gooden by decision. Chaos Williams, very close fight, split decision, and another decision against Francisco Trinaldo. So what you see is a guy that isn't really as active as Maddalena, but a lot of precision. He knows how to win decisions. And it's going to be one of those interesting fights where Randy Brown's going to try to keep Maddalena at bay, use his reach, but I don't think it's going to work here. I think Maddalena is going to get inside, look for the big shots, hopefully doesn't get caught coming in. But the good thing is he can defend the takedowns. He's not scared to get in the mix. And I think he's going to get inside of Randy Brown and get the finish here, which is tough to do against Rude Boy. But listen, I like Jack Della Maddalena to get the finish in this fight, but at the very least, win and move to 14-2 here in the welterweight division. This will be 5 in a row, 5-0 in the UFC for Maddalena at UFC 284. Yeah, so he's rolling. And why not go with the guy who's rolling? You know what I'm saying? If the guy's got momentum, let's go ahead and take that guy to win. That's how I feel about it. But you do got some good fights on the card. A lot of times I look over the fights and I'm like, then you start getting closer and you start to see, oh, this guy's ranked, that guy's ranked. Up and down the card, people are ranked. And it gets bigger as it comes up. But again, with Makhachev at the end, it almost overshadows the rest of the fight card. And that's why it may not seem great. But you do got Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett for the featherweight interim title. So that's going to be a big one as well. But this is UFC 284. I mean, we're going to continue to get into it. Makhachev versus Volkanovski. Right now, it's like 76% in favor of Makhachev.